Hi, I'm Sinead McCarthy from Aurion Learning, and welcome to the latest episode of our Learning Leaders interview series. So I'm delighted to be joined today by Cathy McCloskey from CAWT, which stands for Cooperation and Working Together. And this is a partnership between the Health and Social Care Services in Northern Ireland and Republic of Ireland. So here at Aurion, we've worked with Cathy and the CAWT team on the Innovation Recovery College, which you'll hear more about today. And following a formal open procurement process in 2021, the CAWT team appointed Aurion Learning to design and develop 24 custom e-learning modules for its virtual recovery college. So Cathy, first of all, thank you so much for joining me today. We have a series of questions that we'll chat today, but if you'd first like to introduce yourself, your role to date, and how the digital journey started for CAWT.
Thank you, Sinead, and thank you for inviting me along today. So my name is Cathy McCloskey, and I am the project manager for the Innovation Recovery Project, which is an Interreg 5A funded project that's managed by SEUPB. And I suppose that's where our journey started in terms of working with Aurion. I'm also currently the Interim Chief Officer, so I have responsibility across all the different areas of work and also in terms of the different funded projects and upcoming Peace Plus. I suppose in terms of where the digital learning journey started, it started quite a while ago, back when the Mental Health Strategy Group that is comprised of the HSE, the Western Trust, the Southern Trust, the PHA and SPPG partnership, when they really looked at upscaling and expanding on projects around recovery colleges. And the intention was to have a digital learning solution that would support people on the border counties of Northern Ireland and Ireland in terms of accessing educational programs that would help them with their mental health and well-being on their journey of recovery.
Excellent, yeah. And you mentioned some words there on accessing educational programs for mental health and well-being, and keeping that in mind, why was it important to create a custom learning solution for this particular challenge?
I suppose one of the key focuses within the Innovation Recovery Project is co-production. So it's really taken the experience and knowledge that health professionals have in their field of work and the expertise and knowledge of people with lived experience of mental ill health. So that's quite a unique feature within the project. It's about having that shared learning and together people who have lived experience and professional knowledge coming together to co-produce courses that will help people on different areas of recovery. And it was really then trying to build that and expand that into an e-learning platform where people could access regardless of where they live. So again, it was looking at having that solution that was 24/7 and free courses, and also moving away from clinical services and the clinical or medical models to an educational element.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know a variety of people access the mental health recovery resources, including the general public, carers, family members, GPs, health professionals, a wide range there. So how do you engage with the different audiences that you have on this project? That must be difficult.
Yeah, so as you've just, I suppose, outlined, there's quite a wide and varied audience that use the learning platform. Some health professionals come on to get some guidance and advice for their clients that they can share that information with them. GPs, I suppose, are referring their patients to the recovery colleges and the online recovery college as well. In terms of the general public, we have different, I suppose, leaflets and marketing solutions, but a lot of it is really that face-to-face engagement or personal contact works best in terms of, I suppose, getting the word out there about the online recovery college. We also work with a lot of young people in schools and colleges who we often think are just that little bit more sophisticated in terms of using online platforms. But we do also go out to men's sheds. We go out into community and voluntary organisations, I suppose, to let them know that the resources are available as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the figures really speak for themselves. It's been over 8,000 people have accessed the Virtual Recovery College. So can you summarise how has the solution been received so far, Cathy?
I suppose the 8,000 is right across all the different elements of the project. again, we do keep a record and track how many people are completing courses, and if people are coming on and looking at them, and maybe not completing, following up just to check that they're okay and they don't need further support. But in terms of the e-learning solutions, we've had excellent feedback. We've had actual national organisations asking to buy the modules to put onto their own websites, and I think we've had unions to do with staff and reviewing the modules, and also I suppose given really positive feedback. So the feedback overall has been really good. I think the fact that each course was co-produced by people with lived experience and health professionals, and then through Aurion being translated onto really appropriate and relevant e-learning modules that were interactive and engaging, is really what people have felt has benefited them.
Yeah, and we know the training, within the modules is self-calibrated, so it really gives learners control over, their personalized learning experience, and allows them to work at their own pace and identify what they want to achieve as well from the learning, which is really important. So next question, I guess. Before COVID, the programme was only offered in physical settings, and CAWT really wanted to broaden the reach of the services to others suffering from mental health struggles. So COVID really accelerated the need to go digital. So since then, has the view of learning changed within the organisation?
Yes, I think I suppose we also, prior to having the modules ready, we also looked at Zoom and different ways of communicating. I think what that did was that gradual journey helped the staff team become more confident and comfortable with technology. They can really see the benefits themselves of the learning modules, and they're able to promote that with the people that they, I suppose, are supporting. I think the interesting piece was that people also still want to feel connected and to meet. So I think what we've really learned is that a blended learning solution is what works best. That sometimes having that time out to go and complete an e-learning module and learn about a condition that maybe you have is really beneficial to the person, and to marry that up with actually then going into classroom settings or community centres, or whether that may be, that it's broadened, I suppose, people thinking around how they learn and different tools they can use to support their learning.
What advice, I guess, or what have you learned through this process that could benefit others who want to develop a similar solution?
I suppose one of the key points that I learned through this process was that there was quite a good structure in place in terms of working with Aurion, in terms of giving ideas of what e-learning modules could look like, because we have no background in that field. We had staff who had lived experience of mental ill health. We had health professionals working every day in their own field, but to try to translate that information that they had co-produced into an e-learning module was new, completely new to us. So getting that support from the different people within the team in terms of giving ideas around, whether that's interactive tools or little storylines. I think it was a very good, robust sort of, like, the project management element was also quite strong in relation to that, but also then the storyline and being able to see at each stage and review that it was a two-way process. I thought that was really helpful.
Well, that's great. Well, always glad to get that feedback. I'm just going to throw one curveball question in for you, Cathy, then, that I haven't given you in advance. But I guess we talk a lot here in Aurion about learning that works, and it's kind of ingrained in our DNA. So we love asking organisations, what does learning work? What does learning that works mean for you?
I suppose within the Innovation Recovery project, learning that works is really, I suppose, that people gain through their learning the tools, skills and confidence to really take part in their own journey of recovery. So it's about that self-empowerment, and that really, that people are starting to take steps to help them improve their own mental health and well-being. So when people have completed an e-learning module and they learn things about the condition they may have, or they learn how to support a family member through a difficult situation. So in terms of, it's probably a lot more qualitative than quantitative in terms of the work that we do. So it's not therapeutic intervention, but it is giving people the tools and the toolkit essentially to support themselves better.
Well, I think that's a great note to finish on. So thank you so much for your time today, Cathy, and to our listeners. Cathy, do you want to just tell our listeners where can they find the Virtual Recovery College if they want to learn a little bit more?
Yes, absolutely. So it's my mentalhealthrecovery.com, and you can go on and have a little browse at the different e-learning modules that are there. There's quite an array of modules. Some of them are what I would say is, where you want to dip your toe in the water, talking about sleep or things that can affect everybody. Others are more specific to certain conditions. But there's definitely a lot for everyone to have a look at there.
Yeah, there's some fantastic resources there. Even the meditation one I've listened to quite a few times, relaxing to help get to sleep. It's been very handy.
Absolutely.
So yeah, thanks again. And this interview is part of a Learning Leader series, and it will be posted on our social media and website, www.aurionlearning.com. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you all again soon.